Hey everybody, my name is Eveliina Holmgren and I'm a psychology lecturer at Metropolia University of Applied Sciences in Finland. We have already been talking about what stress actually is and how our autonomous nervous system works. And we've been talking about our old brain and how our bodies actually react to the stress of the current day, like what we are experiencing today, in the same way as when we were hunter-gatherers and we were living in the caves and where the sources of stress were like snakes or some other threats. And in the classroom, the stress is different. It's not the same situation as when we were hunter-gatherers, but still our brain works in the same way. So it goes to this fight or flight mode, and that is not good for learning. So whether it is a fire alarm or whether it is a beeping sound of computer or a telephone, our physical and psychological state changes and our alertness automatically raises, and it is good. We are really fast to take some action, for example, fight or flight. And this is really okay, and it's really important for our survival. But however, this fight or flight mode, it is not ideal state for learning. And that is why in the classroom we don't want ourselves as teachers or our students to be in that state. So we need to do something. So you as teachers, you need some tools and means to tell your own autonomous nervous system and also to your students' autonomous nervous systems that, hey, now it is actually a good moment to calm down. We are safe. Now it's good time to sit down and just like be together. So let's learn something new. Let's develop something new. Let's look at something interesting. And this internal talk to ourselves is called self-regulation. It is one example of self-regulation skill that we use and what we are trying to teach our students also. So the way that how we can talk to ourselves, this inner talk, how we can use it to regulate our autonomous nervous system. How can we use this internal talk to regulate our moods, and how can we use it to also change our physiological state so that we could better adapt to learning situation, for example, that we could better come and benefit more of the classroom situation where we should be able to learn. So for this purpose, we are now going to talk about self-regulation skills and how to teach them at schools. Well, self-regulation as a topic, it is huge, and it even self-regulation skills refer to a wide set of skills that we use to control and guide our internal states, our emotions, thoughts, moods, and also the external behavior that other people also can see. And one situation where we need self-regulation skills is a situation where we experience stress and where we want to do something to that in order to be able to, for example, to learn. So the goal here is to give you teachers some concrete ways of handling stress in the classroom. Self-regulation starts with directing attention to one's internal states. And that is not easy. So before doing anything, before changing, before even trying to change anything, we should know first that where we are actually right now. So before going to teach anything to your students, actually you as teacher, you should first look at how you are feeling yourself. What are your own internal states right now? So first you need to take them kind of, if we think about the spotlight, that you have the spotlight somewhere and you consciously direct the attention of the spotlight first to yourself and your internal states. How alert you are feeling right now? Are you probably busy? Have you been just like running around the whole day? Are you a bit tired, maybe hungry, frustrated of something, a bit upset, or really happy and excited? And what are your physiological feelings, the sensations in your body right now? How are they? These two, they are connected. So the next thing is to teach your students to ask these same questions of themselves, to teach the students to take the attention, the conscious attention, and direct the spotlight to how they are feeling right now. What are their feelings in the body, the physiological feelings, sensations, and how about the psychological sensations, feelings, emotions? So, how can I teach it? How can I teach my students to like stop doing those external things, stop paying attention to what is actually happening in the classroom, and just like take the initiative to focus on themselves and their internal things? This really needs practicing in the classroom. It needs stopping the other things, and it needs the moment to calm down. And the students, of course, they might ask that, well, how can I feel now? How can I know how I feel? Where do I know, like, what are my emotions? So it might be that you start with really basic things, that where can one feel that one is tired? Where can one feel that one is excited? Where in the body it feels? I think the key task for the teacher is to teach students to use their conscious attention and turn the attention, the spotlight in themselves, and really like take time to learn to focus on the internal states. And then when the students have learned to pay attention to their internal states, then you can start teaching them skills to identify that, well, there's this and this feeling and sensation, and maybe we can give it a name. Maybe we can identify it and even like remark it, notice it, that, okay, these are my feelings and they have different names. Like the sensations in the body, the thoughts, the feelings. For example, in the situation where the students experience stress, they might notice that, okay, actually I have sweaty palms, tight muscles somewhere. I notice some changes in my breathing, and when they notice these changes, they might also learn to name these physiological states, but also mental states. So you might be teaching your students to name their, saying that, okay, maybe you are now feeling excited or drowsy, or is your state like internal panic actually, or happy, relaxed, and this naming is the second phase that comes after paying attention to one's internal states. And after these two things, so first turning the conscious attention to one's internal states, and then second identifying and naming these states, you can go to the third stage. With is that, well, what can we actually do with these sensations we have noticed in ourselves? So, for example, if one is really tired and hungry and drowsy and does not feel like doing any schoolwork actually, so what should be done to increase the activity level? Or if one is really excited and cannot concentrate at all and is really like in the high activity mode, what are the ways of actually calming down and to be more in the learning state of mind? So these are the grounds and reasons for which we think that it is important to teach self-regulation skills at schools, and how teaching of these self-regulation skills actually begins. Thank you.